Hello everybody and welcome to Total Annihilation Replays. Today, I've got a ProTA game for you here featuring myself. That's right, my own ego must be satisfied by seeing myself play video games. And other players as well, of course. So on the top right here, we've got Snake of Snake Eater fame. We have myself here in the bottom right. And in the bottom left, on the other team, we have Coolnick. On the top left, we have Tiptushi in red. So the Finnish-Australian alliance, never stronger here. So the map, of course, is the classic Gasplant Plain. This is the updated version of it, the pro version that's available on TAF for those who are interested. I say in the chat before things get started here that I'm going to go air and fast reclaim. To let my teammate Snake here know what's up. So I go ahead, I'll get this game speed going here. Build some wins. Nick says that ally chat is on. You can see Snake building some extra wins there to support this. Nick's AC, not sure what's going on. Oops, we got this here. Okay. He says, I'm old school, I do it this way. Yeah, with the A, that's the way I do too. So you can see the bomber's out, Nick's going flea. So perfect little flea rush there. It's a very good anti-air way to do things. So and you can see his fleas are on the way, and I am still currently building a bomber. So this is not likely to go well for me here. But the bomber is done at right around 129, which is actually pretty fast. For this. You can see the aircraft plant's already taken some damage. That's because I'm in the process of reclaiming it. So Nick sees the bomber flying in. Nick calls out air. And I get a single win for my trouble. And now I'm being surrounded by fleas. I have a disease. I need a flea collar. Nick gets a Jethro out. So he's got himself some anti-air. But you can see the Jethro is pretty lousy at shooting the bomber. I'm busy focusing on using my bomber and not less so on defending myself at this point. So the fleas are currently absolutely surrounding me and making life quite miserable for me. So he moves the Jethro out and then leaves himself completely exposed, so I'm able to now take out those, and I still have a complete and total flea infestation to the point where I have nothing left. You can see I've got this air scout here who's sending fleas up to fight Snake. Snake has a missile tower, though. So I bomb again now. So now Nick's completely destroyed, and I'm completely destroyed. Although I've got a slasher out. He has 2 Jethros out now. You can see Nick has shared some... Tip has shared some wins to Nick. He lit this gas bag on fire, so when that blows up, that'll take out the mechs. But that was done by Snake's missile tower. It's the trouble with them. So Snake sent a Pee-wee down here to help me out. I am completely stalled out as I hurriedly build some wins, and then I've got my bomber still alive. Nick has his factory off here as he recovers. I guess I'm not totally stalled there. I've got that, so I've got a little metal left in storage. So Tip mostly unbothered here. You can see he's got a pair of missile towers up, 2 cons out, Pee-wee's moving forward. He says nil all draw, and he didn't say that in ally chat either, so that's what it seemed to be there. And I say yeah, except I said it in allies. Except I still have a bomber up, and I no longer have a flea problem, so the veterinarian has assisted me. I know the bombers are great at raiding, and so I bomb here just to keep Tip off of his mechs. As you can see, Snake is expanding here. So I try to bomb the Pee-wees, but Tip, he's on the money there. He moves them. So my bomber really hasn't done that much by way of damage. There you go. We'll finally get another max. Oof. And I get it off screen to safety. Problem with that, of course, is now I've got busy with a bomber down here. Fly over the Jethro, but lose the bomber there. So I say mean things to Nick. And so, yeah, I really didn't get much with the bomber other than, well, obviously setting Nick back, but he set me back equally. So really, we were pretty even. The only advantage I had there was that I was able to keep Snake off of his, I mean, not Snake, Tip off of his expanded mechs as well. You can see Snake here was able to get all his fully capped. So we're all relatively even here. The only reason why Nick is behind, I reclaimed my factory, and Nick did not. You can see he still's got his original one, so that counts towards my metal income. You can see what I'm doing here. Rather than having to build a radar, which I am doing, of course, because radar is great, I'm using a scout here to keep track of when anything is incoming. So Tip has been keeping his commander at home, so he's going to have more units than Snake, who went for a stroll. So I knew that Nick was Pee-wee, and slashers do great against Pee-wees. So, and I've got line of sight from my scout, and so it makes it really easy for me. I don't even have to radar target. You need to stay away from these. These will damage your slashers. You can see there both those slashers took hits from when that gas bag exploded. Go ahead and turn up the speed here. And I got a gift con from Mr. Snake. I say Tip is coming for the double because I see that Nick is in there as well, and he's attacking this kind of weaker. He knew that his comm was up north. You can see Tip marked it there. So then he comes in here through the south, and I can't really move my slashers into these gas bags because otherwise they will get completely blown up. Nick taking the same path. And that con gets taken out. So, and Tip able to get this raid into the back, cleaning out mexes. Single missile tower and just a handful of Pee-wees back here. Nice move by Tip here, completely clean Snake off of his metal extractors. I move up just to cover this area right here and prevent Nick from continuing the double. You can see though, he's continuing the double. So yeah, I've got these slashers in here to cover this gap. Although I see Tip coming in here to give me the business. So I now pull these back there to go that way. Snake is able to clean it up. So not a lot of cons. One appears to be 2 cons here for Snake. Whereas Tip, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now. And he's building a 7th. I start shooting to clear out the gas bags. The reason for that is I intend to radar target. You can see here Nick has absolutely nothing, and I have a giant slasher pole. So Nick sees what I'm doing, so he starts to build some Dragon's Teeth. So I knew that that Nick doubled, and so I was like, okay, well, if all his Pee-wees, if all his units are down, there's really not much stopping me from moving forward at this point. And so I moved these slashers forward for line of sight, also to kill that guy. And at this point, he has very little to challenge me with. He's building a second K-Bot lab, because Nick loves to do this. He put everything into getting these geos up and running. So he's got those going, and he's got the metal makers to show for it too. So, and I have no geos. No geos up here on the top right. And Tip just starting his first, and he's also starting his advance at the same time. So I go to clear Nick off of his metal extractors. Start building cons too, because I realize I'm ahead in the unit count here, and that I should try and translate that into a resource victory, considering Tip is in decent condition on the top side. I snag that mechs and I back off. I don't want to leave a giant wreck field here for Nick. I would like to control this if I can. Exploding gas bag kills one of my boys. Pee-wee army. Still not very many cons, but there we go. A few more cons from Snake here, which is really important, especially getting the geos up. So I'm working on my advanced as well. I realize I'm in decent shape here. If Nick is off of those mexes, I'm on mine. That's going to put me in a position to get ahead. So this is a relatively fast advance, and I'm actually stalling on metal at this point too. I think actually, I think Snake and I were on voice for this too, so I think we decided we would try and coordinate a double. Because I realized that Nick didn't have anything. Or maybe not, because I did type to him. Tip has enough to essentially cover, and that would create a nice big rec field. I start getting some advanced units out. You can see Tip's got his advanced up. He's got a FARC. And then he is building shooters. So we're at 13 minutes into the game at this point. Both Tip and I have gotten our advances going. No advance from Snake yet. I get a con up here to sit there and do nothing. Idle con strategy never fails. Now at this point, Nick's got me outnumbered, and I moved the wrong way. So I immediately have to back up here. But I don't. There we go, and then I move myself back. Snake getting his advanced up. Tip very well defended here. LLT's Dragon's Teeth, a very pretty looking defense. I moved some thuds in here to shoot over the Rex. They don't do that great. Especially once they're mixed in like that. But this is a very nice sized rec field for me, and I've got the slashers to control it. Still no geos up, whereas you can see Nick is on all four right there. Snake at 14,000, Tip at 13. Really close still, and then the shooter shot goes off. Just taking out units. Nick getting radar jammers up too. And he's got all his geos up. Snake's got a single geo at this point. Is it all? No, he's missing. He's got two. Working on a second. So I get my con in here. I've got my pyros up. I'm ready to secure that rec field. That's good news for me. And the guns go silent. Two shooters now on the front line. And he's got this eraser right here. So even though these missile towers are in range, they don't see it. And they shoot. Oftentimes missile towers will shoot back after they take that damage. But they're dying instantly, so they don't get to shoot back. So at this point I'm hearing the sounds. I know that Tip is T2. And I'm busy working on my mohos there, trying to get a resource advantage. Got pyros. I've managed to get that entire rec field. Use the pyros in the front for the line of sight and the damage, and keep the slashers back. Snake makes the rush forward, but the two shooters are still alive, doing their snipery thing. 8 kills on one, 2 on the other, and here comes a third. Nick making kind of a diagonal push here. I've got a handful of missile towers and storms in this direction. Nice gas bag explosion there, just takes them all out. Sometimes the gas bags are your friends, and other times they are not. Snake moves down. Snake sees the defensive Maginot line he's up against. I see the blue lasers. blasting my pyros to smithereens. Unfortunately, I'm fighting up here. I don't see this cheeky Khan right here stealing some of my hard-won metal. And Tip's moving in here now. He's in control of this wreck field. I am happy to know that Nick's shooters are now on me, because I knew that I was worried about Snake's position. And I'm like, okay, well, that means I've got a bit of a double going on here against me, and I think I can handle it. Because I knew that Nick was off of these mexes the entire time. So I'm letting him know Tip has snipers on me. Gets my reclaiming con. I indicate where the snipers are at this point, and this gives Snake a good chance to come in and try and trap him out. These will have a lot of trouble if they get overtaken by peewees. But you can see they're a lot similar to the slashers in that guard. When you get a large enough group of them, I say we might be able to kill Nick. Snake says yeah. Although at this point, with what am I going to kill him? So Tip comes down. I realize I'm getting missiles on these shooters, which is something we absolutely want. But I still don't get it. Tip's managed to pull that one back. 7 kills there. 5, 8, 18. These are the sniperiest of snipery boys. Come up to repair. Get more missile towers up. I got this nice little wall set up here. Two, 3 working on the 4th geo. You can see here they've had their geos the entire time. $26K metal for Tip. Snake at 26. Nick and I both at 28. So, seems to be even fight at this point. Now he's combined some Fidos in with his snipers. Tip scouts. And I start building a gun. I want to realize there's a lot of wreckage here, and that securing this wreck field would be excellent for me and my future. I start building air. So the snipers here are tall enough that when they're by these dragon's teeth, they actually shoot right over it. The shooters do. So just unit composition here by Tip with the shooters and then the combination sporting unit seems to be doing really, really well for him. So send this con out. I want some more of that metal. And we get to make a new wreck field. I'm going for the con. Nick's trying to nanoblock it to get it out of there. I get the con, I back off. So we both got each other's reclaiming cons. Nick doing Nick things. It wouldn't be a Nick day without loads of wins. I'm trying to do a little bit of that myself here, and you can see that Snake's got some rows, but not nearly as many. Working on getting the Mohos cap. Snake did a great job getting his this guy cap. Focusing in on the 2s right here. So I realize that Nick also, he loves to do this, and these work great at just cleaning up rows of missile towers. So I realize I've got enough pyros here to defend it. So that's what I do. And Snake's getting this up and running here, so that way he can defend himself against the snipers. Although you can see Tip's got one too. So, and because Tip's got air, he's going to be able to scout it easier. You can see he already does. He needs to switch to return fire at this point if he wants to have hope of being able to take it out. He's shooting the shooters. Nick goes for a push against my toaster. think he manages to get one or two. These Fidos will make quick work of the ambusher. And I believe only one or two shooters went down as a result of that. I clean up the rows of missile towers. Tip scouting. I get air cons out. I need those. I want those for reclaiming. So I notice here that where the missile towers are coming from, and I figured that there was a con building them. Sure enough, there it was. These guys shoot over the DTs. Target the con, take it out. The gas bag blows up a whole bunch of them right there. At this point, Tip's getting a decent mass of long-range units that become more and more difficult for him to handle. And now his advanced lab is under attack. You can see he's just trying to reclaim it here, save the metal. You can see Tip, he flies a scout over and he targets the cons, which are busy doing the work. Tip asks, "Are you okay?" That's when I realized that I see what's kind of going on up north. I see Snake's got that down, and I'm like, okay, at this point we're looking at potentially a base race here. That I can try and run up and make a play, or I can keep pushing my advantage on Nick, since I've got him pushed all the way into his corner. Keep the pyros up front. See the gas bags blowing up here. Back in the back, you see I'm functioning on a decent amount of metal. Got my mohos up and everything like that. Geos are up and running. Converting the geo energy here. I said more Tip on me, and I see these are the snipers. That's actually a reprieve here for Snake. It does stop me from trying to push him down, and at this point I see I can get my slashers in range and try and take down some of these shooters. Nick marks the toaster, and I'm working on a cheeky set of rapiers. I've got my advanced air up. Snake moves in. You can see though he got his advanced lab back up again, back in his base. Snake says he's got me beat. And I said, and I got Tip beat, although I meant to say I've got Nick beat. And I say, just hang on. So yes, my goal here at this point is I need to kill Nick before Tip realizes that he can kill Snake. Tip's attention, though, you can see right here in the top left, his focus is down here on me at this point to give Snake a bit of breathing room. I get a Punisher up here. And my toaster is in range of his shooters, which, after doing... Oh, I didn't get the kill count on them. They finally go down. And now Tip's attention returns up north. Snake's getting some Fidos up. At this point, Nick and I'm at 6,000 metal ahead of Nick, and Snake and Tip are even in production, but you can see Tip's just got more units, and it's just all the work that those shooters did, keeping him in play. I'm building some cons here, so I actually don't have... These thuds aren't very good at defending the Punisher. You can see my toaster here is doing quite a bit of work. 53 kills for the toaster. Punisher's going to go down. It's at 6. It didn't do nearly as much. There it goes. I scout. And I'm just sending... I think I'm streaming these guys at this point for the sake of my toaster. Again, just a handful of these. He's trying to take down that ambusher. It's taking damage, but you can see Tip's got a con right here reclaiming it. At this point, Snake needs to hold back, get some Zeus up or something to be able to protect himself. And again, Tip says, I think I can win my side now. And you can see, there you go. He's got a handful of Zeus. He's got the Phytos. He's got a really good unit mix there. And at this point, I don't have any units. Except for a handful of Thuds. So, let's see. This is Tip's base right here. So Tip making a push in. At this point, 1, 2, 3, 4 Phytos against the Zeus. They're just not going to be able to handle it. You can see Tip right here. He spied the comm. And at this point, I managed to break in to Tip's base. I mean, to Nick's base, and I start shooting his geos with the Thuds. The geo goes down, but right here you can see this is just too much of a force. And so Snake is surrounded. Really good play by Tip. Great use of the early advanced units. You can see the Zeus now shooting the commander. Snake tries to nanoblock, and he goes and is defeated. But at the same time, a bunch of rapiers appear over the head of one Nick. He tries to repair himself. He's nanoblocking. A handful of missile towers in there. And Nick goes down. Unfortunately, Tip beat me to it by a good 30 seconds. And now I have nothing here other than a fusion to protect myself. I see it coming in on radar. I quickly try and send my units over. Build the pyros are the fastest and able to respond. Quickly pull back. You can see I've got a handful of rapiers here. But Zeus here are fantastic at shooting down rapiers. So the Zeus start shooting. Also, the Phytos kind of act as flak against them, too. Try to protect the fusion. I realize that, okay, I bet Tip probably doesn't have a fusion like I do. And if I can just survive this attack, then I will be in business. But this is a massive force. Can't send my commander over there. My rapiers aren't doing nearly enough damage fast enough. You can see the Zeus there shooting them down. This is where Vamps would actually be better. My fusion go down, I'm like, okay, it's not the end of the world, I can necro that. But now the geos are going down, and there's no necroing, that which leaves no wreck. So... and the Zeus go marching on. Next geo down. Vehicle factory going down. Geo goes down. And now my commander, I don't have... well, I do have energy here. I think I do. No, I do not. And so now I see that my commander is busy getting zapped. Starts a D-gun, but it's too late. I have taken far too many lightning bolts, and the Tiptushi is victorious with his army. So, nice unit control, good use of the shooters, and he's able to win the race of killing your side before the opponent kills theirs. So, good game. This is very fun. Frustrating for me to lose. I was like, oh man, I just needed a little bit more. But really, in seeing how it played out here, if Tip probably could have killed Snake a little earlier too, and then it wouldn't have even have been as close as it was there in the end. So, final resources here. You can see Mr. Snake and Tip relatively pretty close actually in what it was, and then I managed to get ahead of Nick despite his wind farming, primarily because I was able to deny him those mexes up front, whereas I was able to have mine capped with Moho metal extractors, plus all the rec fields I was able to win too. So yeah, fun 2v2 here in ProTA, and I hope you all enjoyed that one. So if you have not already, please subscribe. You can also leave a like and a comment down below. And hopefully I'll be able to have more up from you when I manage to find some time. So thank you all for joining me here today, and I'll catch you around later. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.